Hi, people. Hi, all you people. Hey, anyway, I'm at Debbie's, and somebody had asked me to recount the story of the locust and the cinnamon pull apart with raisins. We were recording. Wild Dogs was in California at Prairie Sun Studio, and we were recording the Man's Best Friend album. And they would take us to Rohnert Park to go get, to the store. It was a long ways away, and so I went to the bakery section, and they had these cinnamon pull-apart things. And one had raisins and one that didn't. So I got one of each. And I was keeping the one with the raisins. We bought all the stuff for, I was down there for like 4 weeks while we recorded Wild Dogs, Man's Best Friend. And get back, and there's a place at the office at Prairie Sun. And there's a place that has some video games and a sitting room, and because that we slept in a converted chicken coop. Actually, they had another place that was a moose lodge with a pool table that you could sleep to. But anyway, I'm saying, well, I think I want some of that cinnamon pull-apart bread, and I get the one with the raisins. And so I dole the whole other one out to everybody. There's like 10 people in there, all the band guys and the roadies, and here, you can have some, you can have some, you can have some. But I'm keeping the one with the raisins to myself. And Taylor Yingling, he was Dean's drum tech. He looks over at me and said, "Hey, Matt, raisins don't have little wings and little legs." And I looked down closely, and it was flies. The thing was filled with flies. They sold it to me that way without even checking. So I went out the front door, and when you come out there, there's a light that turns on automatically, and I threw up. And as I was throwing up, I hear this whap against the wall. And I looked down, and I threw up again because it was like this gigantic, what it was a locust, of all things. And it flew into the building of the side of this barn office thing. And, oh man, I could hear the people laughing inside the office. And I opened the door and I said, "Oh man, something just hit the wall here." And they came out, "Oh, that's a locust." You know how to really attract a great bunch. That was pretty funny. But that was one of the funniest things that happened during the Man's Best Friend recording. And the guy that owned the studio, he had the biggest collection of Playboys since the beginning. I mean, there was every one of them in this thing called the Moose Lodge. There was a gigantic, huge. I'd never seen a moose in real life, but I never had one come to my house. But this head was huge, and that was also a converted chicken coop. But it had been done a long time ago. It had a pool table, and I slept in there with Angie, and until the rest of the guys left, and we moved into the other place, and that was funny. Oh yeah, we were in the other place, and that was a chicken coop also. This is I think a farm, some sort of farm, and. At one time, and in the middle of the night, I heard this scrape, 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 and the place was moving like it was an earthquake. So I said, "You guys, wake up! It's an earthquake!" And I opened the window, and I see this horse's ass, and it puts his tail into the window. It was put right there by the horse pasture, so the horse was scratching his ass on the side of the wall. It was pretty funny. We had a good time recording that record. My voice was shot when we left Portland, so I had a really horrible cold. And but Mooka White was Mooka Rednick. He was an awesome guy. He was a bass player for Commander Cody in the Lost Planet Airmen. He was like the co-owner of the studio, and so we had a lot of talk. He was like a really, really good help, good support to me. Yeah, I might look strong, but when I'm down, yeah, I respond to sensitivity and some compassion, and he gave it to me. And then they left us there for a few weeks to do the video or the vocals, and so I sang every line by word practically. So it doesn't have the kind of flow it should have, like Dr. Mastermind and that first Wild Dogs album was done in whole takes, whole verses. Now the way I record is really old school. If I'm going to do an overdub, I let the whole song run and just play when I play, and I don't punch in. Same with the vocals. I think it comes out. Maybe it's not perfect, but rock and roll was never meant to be perfect. If rock and roll was meant to be perfect, I think we would know Pat Boone instead of Chuck Berry and Jerry Lee Lewis and Little Richard and all that stuff. So anyway, that's a little funny story, and I'll see you later.